What's up, YouTube? Mr. Llama here, and today we're going to be talking about the SMITER build. This is the Paladin SMITER, one of the strongest uber boss killing builds in the game. Very popular for that. Also something that is notable to be able to be done on a budget, extremely cheap, where you can go and kill the ubers themselves as well. So I'm going to be talking through some of the build, some of the guide of the stats and gears and all the skills, everything that you kind of need to get yourself a SMITER. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll feel confident enough to make your own. So starting over here, we have the Paladin. This is going to just be the base stats of him, right? His starting stats, his life and mana per level, per stat point that you put in. And you can see it's very good for this character. He's a very strong, tanky character overall. Additionally, the frames are in the bottom right. If you would like to learn more about frames and breakpoints, I'll link a video down below. But that's something that you want to keep note of when you're making a build, because you want to make sure you hit certain breakpoints and you aren't just missing one or something like that. Also good to note, with Holy Shield, his block frames are insanely good. So it's kind of ridiculous. Holy Shield has to be used on every single Paladin because of that. With that being said, let's drop this and look at the final skill build. So this is how I would ultimately skill out a SMITER. The main important thing is Smite, then Holy Shield, then Fanaticism. That's the order that I found when I was playing through, worked the best for damage. Going for Smite first, then Holy Shield, and then Fanaticism. After that, you really have a lot of skill points available to you. So you can get, a point in Salvation if you want. You can get a point in Redemption. You could put a point in Meditation if you wanted. Vigor can be helpful. All of this is like optional stuff. What I really love to jam the points into is Resist Lightning and Resist Fire. And Resist Cold is also good if you prefer. But basically, for every 2 points in this, you're going to get an extra 1 point passive of max lightning res. So this would give me 10 additional max lightning res and 9 additional max fire res. So 85 and 84 just by having these skills right here, which is super, super helpful for this character, especially if you're doing Ubers and you got Uber Mephisto and stuff, and Uber Diablo. They do a lot of like fire and lightning damage. So this will help you out with that stuff right there. Jumping into the character, how do I level this character? Let's say I want to play through. And you can level him in the standard way of going into the Hammered In and leveling up first and then respeccing. Or you can actually level with the SMITER, and it's not bad at all. So the way that I do it is level 2, I go Might. Level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? I just keep going into Smite right here with all of those levels. And then I pretty much just go max Smite. And then when Holy Shield comes around at level 24, I get a point in Holy Shield. I finish maxing Smite out. I start maxing Holy Shield. And then I just make sure that I can get Fanaticism at 30. I switch over to using Fanaticism, and then I just max out Holy Shield because it adds to my Smite damage. Once I've maxed that out, I just max out Fanaticism. It's really a very simple build to level up, and and then you're done. Level like 65 or something, you have everything you need, and it's all maxed out. Even before that, honestly, from all the plus skills from Quest. So you can very easily level all of those things, no problem. In terms of stats, you want enough strength for your gear, enough dexterity for max block with Holy Shield active, because remember, this is giving 36% block chance right there. And the rest in vitality, and you shouldn't need anything in energy for this build at all. So this pretty standard, max block kind of build. And you will be wanting your block to be high as you're playing through. So you'll probably be doing 3 points in vitality, 2 points in dexterity every single time that you level up. That's usually a good way to keep your block chance up as you're going through. And strength, like I say, enough for gear. Usually you're just going to start at the 25. And then I'm going to have like a Torch and an Annie on really fast. Start at the 25, and then you can go to like a little bit more for a Paladin shield, whatever, like 37. Okay, maybe go to like 47, 50. You'll probably end up somewhere between 50 and 60 strength overall for this character. Now, in terms of items for this character, let me just gear up really quickly. I'll show kind of a couple different builds of what you might be going for, what you might be looking for with it all. Where's my Ravenette? There's my Raven. There's a Dwarf. We like having that. And it's one option. Another option. Drax. Hold on. Do I not have my grief with me? Okay. Perfect. Couple of options right there. We'll start with the grief and get ourselves face, High Lords, or Mara's. I kind of like Mara's more. And then Dungos or T-Gods can kind of go right there. So let's get the T-Gods over here. So this is going to be pretty much your standard build. Let me put on a Paladin Spirit right here. This is going to be pretty much like your standard build for the character, and there's a couple ways right here, right? So Grief is going to be the main hand. It's super cheap, and that added damage that you see, damage 371, is flat damage that gets added over to your smite and then amplified, and it's so good. It just makes smiters do insane amounts of damage. Guillaume's face you want just for the crushing blow right there, which is really nice. 35% chance. Super, super good. Mara's you could run right here. You could also run a High Lords for the IAS and skill as well. But if you want some resistances, you can go ahead and get that there. Haas is actually really good damage. And a little bit better, I think, if you up it. But a lot of people also like to run Eth Exile. This is a little bit more expensive, and finding the base for it can be hard. But if you can make this, this can be really nice, and you get that chance for life tap, which is super, super good. Chains of Honor, just get yourself some skills and massive resist and all of that, which is super nice there. Grief is, we already went over. Drax gives you that chance for life tap. Cannot be frozen is obvious because you just need cannot be frozen. So Ravenfrost, Dungos, or T-Gods. You'll switch on T-Gods later for sure. And Dwarf can be nice for like some Fire Sword. And then Gore Riders, again, you get that crushing blow and stuff. So very helpful, very good. Overall, just a solid build. And then your CTA and a Spirit on your offhand. Now, some swaps, you can get Last Wish right here. Some people prefer having Last Wish on the main hand. 65% chance crushing blow is super big. You lose some of that flat damage. You get the Might aura added, though. And you get the chance for Fade and Life Tap. So some people like having that. And then a lot of people like having a T-Gods. And especially if you're going to be running like Ubers, getting like, oh, maybe a Last Wish or getting T-Gods on, finding even something like a Kira's could be really nice for your character. Just to like really smash up those resistances. You're just going to like have so many res that nothing is going to be able to bring it down. Even Mephisto's Conviction Aura doesn't even matter. You've got COH, you've got Kira's, you've got all this stuff. You're just going to be in a fantastic spot. And then boots-wise, I would actually say Goblin Toes are slightly preferred because it's the 25% chance crushing blow, the highest crushing blow boot you can get. So a lot of people like to have that. Charm-wise, Paladin Torch, Annihilus, and a Combat Skiller. This is kind of going to be what you're going to run there. And a lot of people also just run for, I mean, you don't even really need the Combat Skillers. A lot of people will just say, just get small charms with hit recovery and 20 lifers and all of that stuff, right? Like, don't even bother getting those. Just get 20 a life, 11 to mana. Just fill your inventory with all these 20 life and resistance charms, and that's going to be the main thing for all of that. So that's kind of a recommendation, I think, for a lot of people. Life and resist is very popular for this character. Because, once again, plus to skills is like nice, but I mean, you're boosting, you know, a little bit here and there, but it just doesn't really add as much as you want. It's not like a hammered in getting the plus skills that's really benefiting even more from it. So that's going to be kind of the main stuff. Now, let's say that you're maybe a little bit more poor and you're trying to do this a little bit more on a budget. What are some options and things that maybe you can get for your budget to make it a little bit easier for yourself? Well, first, I would say getting something as simple as a strength, or getting something like with good IAS on it. So a steel even has IAS very early. Getting a black rune word. Really anything with crushing blow IAS is going to be nice, because you just want to hit really quickly and just kind of murder some things. So that's kind of like some nice, easy starter pieces right there for you. This is also like a really nice weapon that's pretty cheap. A Redeemer. You can see it also has flat damage on it on top of some paladin skills and stuff. So kind of not really utilized a ton, but you might be able to pick one up and it actually does really nice. Any of those flat damage weapons like that are going to be super, super good for this character. Heaven's Light wouldn't also be terrible. If you can get an Astrians for some reason, sure, but Grief is really going to be your like main GG super cheap easy weapon that you're just gonna love for it. You can also on weapon swap just have life tap charges. Let me see if I've got one with life tap. Low resist. All right, I guess I don't have a wand in here currently with it, but you can just have a wand with life tap charges. You can chop it from Akara or whatever it is, you know, in Nightmare. Drognen is a great easy place to shop. And so just have this on your offhand, and then you can just cast life tap on whatever boss you need to if you're doing like Ubers or something, and it makes it super easy to just make sure it procs rather than praying that, you know, from some piece you get, it's going to proc, right? Also, Marowaks have the charges, exactly. So just find something for it. In terms of armors, this is the armor that I would definitely say aim for. Starting out, you can start with stealth. Something like a twitch throw with IAS is going to be nice. But if you can get a duress, that's going to be super good. That's a nice, easy way to get the crushing blow, get all those res, open wounds, all that stuff right there from duress. Love this, and it only costs an rune, so pretty cheap overall. Additionally, if you can't find any cannot be frozen source, Spirit Shroud isn't terrible. Duriel's Shell isn't terrible. Smoke, if you have it somewhere else, you can just get this for all the resistances to help out a little bit, right? Just a way to like make your character a little bit tankier is very helpful. For rings and ammies, Ravenfrost, Wisp is great if you're also doing like Ubers and stuff. That can be super nice. But even just like some Dwarf Stars. These are just like, you know, 40 to life, 15 fire absorb. Playing a couple of these is great. So highly recommend just stuff like that. If not, just get like strength and life and res and, you know, that sort of stuff on your rings. That'll be pretty good overall for your character. You don't need to worry about attack rating. Smite does not care about attack rating, so that's going to be very helpful that you can just avoid that. And then even just, you know, some random stuff. Saracen's Chance could be nice for the character, you know, whatever, not for that sort of stuff. You can also use like High Lords, like we had said. Rising Sun could be a good amulet just to get some more of the fire absorb, all of that stuff. In terms of belts, cannot be frozen, right? Worst case scenario, whatever you cannot be frozen you get, you can put it on. That can be an easy source of it. You can get String of Ears or Dungos for some life and damage reduction and stuff like that. Gold Wrap is IAS. Nosferatu's has some IAS on it. Just a big life belt is even great. Really a lot of options there. In terms of shields, you can grab Ancient's Pledge or Rhyme. You can put both of these in Paladin shields that already have resistances to get even more resistances, and it's really nice. So that can be super helpful right there. And like I say, you can put them in like this. Here's a Sanctuary, 115 all resist. This could be a fantastic shield to go to the Ubers with because, hey, I just want to overstack my res and just be like, have so many resistances that they're not going to bring me down at all. That can be a great way to do it. In terms of helms, I would definitely say look at like just res helms like this, right? Irathas can be nice. Ralort Thol can be nice. Just kind of pop that in. Rock Stopper is a great helm. You get a little DR, you get the res, you get the hit recovery. You know, things like that are going to be solid for this character. In terms of gloves, Blood Fist are fine. Sanders are great. You can just shop some 20 IAS gloves. It's actually such a big difference when you have more IAS in your smiting. You'll notice everything is just like so much better and you're just murdering so many more things. Highly recommended finding some sort of IAS glove. In terms of boots, if you can't get Gores or Goblin Toes, you know, get yourself some Hisaris, get yourself some Water Walks or Treks or Inferno Strides. Anything with some resistances and life and faster run walk is a nice combination. Even something that you can just shop like this is going to be very solid for this character. For a Mercenary, you can use Fortitude, Andes, and then if you want, you could use Insight. You're probably not going to have a lot of mana issues though, so I'd recommend giving him like a Pride or a Breath of the Dying or something. Additionally, something that could be decent is just giving him like a Reaper's Toll, so he'll go ahead and cast Decrepify on monsters. But note that if you are life tapping, he will overwrite your life tap. So that might be something that you don't want. And in that case, maybe give him, you know, Obedience or leave him with the Insight. Give him Bone Hew or a Tomb Reaver. But like I say, I kind of like an E-Botted or a Pride or something on him. I think those can both be really solid options. If you can't afford the Fortitude, Treachery is a great option. Super cheap. This is also a fantastic option for yourself as a body armor to work towards. If you don't get Duress, you don't get the Rune, but you get a Lem Rune. Perfect. 45 IAS, chance for Fade, Cold Res, hit recovery. Amazing armor. That IAS is, like I said, just going to make your character so much better. So this is great for you, but Ethereal, you can make one for your Mercenary and it can be very solid. Shaft Stop's also good. You can make him a Smoke. You can get him, you know, Leviathan, whatever things that he can wear that are decent armors is always good. Crown of Thieves is a great alternative helm. You get life, dexterity, lifesteal for him, some fire res. Here you get life, you get resistances, lifesteal. Here you get lifesteal, you get damage reduction, right? Vamp Gaze is nice. You can even put a Guillaume's face on him if you really wanted. Or a Kira's on him, right? Any of those things are going to be solid. So there's really a lot of options. In terms of which Mercenary, I would say you're going to want an Act 2 Mercenary from Nightmare, not from Hell. So go back to Nightmare. And you just go up there. And here you can either get a Holy Freeze or Might Aura. You're not going to use this Mercenary in Ubers because he's just not going to survive. But if you're playing other places, you can decide. So you can either go for defensive or offensive. With offensive, you get Might, which is going to help you both. With defensive, you get Holy Freeze, which is going to slow everything down. Honestly, I think you can go either one. I don't think there's a superior preference really for the Smiter because once again, most people aren't smiting. They're going to be, you know, just like... So, you know, like smiting a little bit, right, or whatever, but like they're not smiting with their Mercenary is what I'm trying to say, right? The Mercenary's dead, so they're just kind of like doing it on their own. But yeah, that pretty much kind of covers this character. He's really solid. And one of the nice things as well with Smite is that you can see the stun length is 6.2 seconds. So every time you hit something, and it always hits, you get a massive stun on it. And I'm in Nightmare, so I'm going to murder everything in one shot. But if I go to Hell, and there you can see, okay, my chance to block is not high enough. So like I would want to make sure that, you know, I put more points into here. So, okay, I need like a few more. And, oh, there we go. 189 is 75% chance to block. But I can come up here. And that guy is stunned, and he's stunned, and he's stunned. And look at the stun length for all these guys. It's just fantastic. So, it's just really great. And then, of course, you can get in there and, you know, start hitting all the dudes, and it's just super nice. But It's just really like so good for the character. It makes it actually fun to play through. This is definitely an A tier build for playing through the game, actually. Like, I did a hardcore Smiter guided playthrough that you can go watch, and it was actually fantastic just playing through with budget stuff and all the stuff. And I've played characters and taken them all the way to Ubers in like 10, 11, 12 hours or something, starting from scratch and just only using what I found in the game. Definitely S tier Uber killer for sure. So for that, in that regard, he is fantastic. Not much of a party player overall. I mean, you will give like fanaticism to your party, which is a little bit helpful and stuff. But oh, oops, I didn't have fanaticism on. But overall, I mean, he's very strong, very solid, safe. And you can just overstack your res. You can see my resistances are all really good right here. And I'm not even doing things like stacking up my max res for this and all that stuff, you know? Like, I'm not even doing all that stuff. This is just like playing the character and just having it be chill. So, great character, super fun to play through with. And like I said, great for the Ubers, great for those bosses. So with that being said, we'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed this guide, and happy smiting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, YouTube.